now, okay, now the spirit of the Illuminati is no longer something external, it's something internal. So I could talk with you about it. Okay? So I'm going to show you the bigger picture. I watched this thing very, very carefully, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you the truth. I watched this thing carefully. If you want to know the truth, I'm going to show it to you right now. So, what you're going to do is get the film Troy. It's about a film where some kind of a champion called Achilles goes after some city. And they want to take down the city of Troy. That's what you need to watch to get the right, let's call it, frame of mind to understand what I'm saying. That film is perfect blueprint Illuminati. It's perfect. If you want to learn about Illuminati, that's the film you got to watch. Okay, so in the White House is Donald J. Trump, 47th president, Narco Donaldo, and he's the commander. So there is a timeline, and there's a certain purpose to the timeline. That's called federation, that's called the civilization, that's the purpose. The West has a purpose. So I know you want to go into denial, but God gave the West a purpose. So the destiny of the West is going somewhere, and there is certain honor division, honor. And the commander of the destiny is called the U.S. president. It's just the way it is. And then the U.S. president has a weapon which is called Spirit of Illuminati. And that Spirit of Illuminati has 1,000 legs. I'm telling you the truth. 1,000,000 legs if necessary. It can go in any citizen in the quote-unquote collective. It can access the quote-unquote hives of the West. Whatever's out there in the colonies or whatever, you know, just using these words. Whatever's out there in the vassal states, whatever of value, whatever man who can fight, whatever man that can create, whatever man that can invent, whatever man that can run, whatever is out there that might be beneficial to the destiny of the West, Spirit of Illuminati will come down, get that person, turn that person into whatever it needs to be turned into, and present it before the White House and continue the battle. There's a battle. So in the film Troy, you see the Greek king, and there is these armies, and you got these champions, and the Greek king says Troy is the enemy, and all the champions are summoned to fight for the Greek king to take down Troy. One-on-one. Spirit of Illuminati. That's how it works. So the ancient Greek civilization that you see in the film Troy is one-on-one this Western civilization. There's a certain enemy, which is Troy. So Troy is kind of a civilization with special rights. However, they became hypocrites. The karma became terrible. God became angry at the city, riled up a civilizer enemy to let the city know, no, you're not pearls and gold. No, you're not good. You're not good. You're acting all high and mighty and all civilized, Troy, in that context. But it was rotten. The karma was bad, and something was riled up against it. That's called the civilizing empire. I talked about it, about Roman Empire. The Jews went wrong. Roman Empire was riled up against Israel. Can also be one-on-one, Greece versus Troy. It's a one-on-one. This thing is a big cycle, a big political intelligence drop. All right. So when a place becomes corrupted and God's no longer happy with that, what is riled up is called empire. So we have two empires on the world, which is West Empire, and then we have BRICS, China, Russia, and their allegiances. So you can one-on-one put the same thing I'm putting out here on China. I don't know what it's called there. I don't know how the honor is divided in China. Okay? I don't know what the name of the spirit is. Or maybe there's not even a spirit. I don't know what that system does. I don't know how that matrix works. There is some kind of a functioning. I cannot classify that. I can only do that what's here in the West. So the organism that does that is called Spirit of Illuminati. There is an equivalent in the BRICS nations. It's one-on-one. It's the same. If China gets the unction from whatever out there to go to war with something, the spirit of Illuminati counterpart in China, BRICS nations, will wake up, summon the champions, and it will go to war, and it will take down a smaller place. The Bible talks about Nebuchadnezzar being a heathen, not in acceptance, God not in acceptance with this man, but using this man as an instrument to punish his enemies. All power in the hands of God. Christians love to create a they and us type of division. It's not so. God can use wicked rulers to bring down kingdoms that he doesn't like. Doesn't matter. He can rile up people against each other, and just because the one that he riles up and the other one is just because they're both wicked does not mean that God did not initiate the fight. Okay? So that's a little bit about theology. I know they're going to end endless debates. I know I'm going to stay out of that. Let's go back to the Illuminati blueprint. So you see that the king of Greece was introduced to Achilles. And Achilles was like, blah, 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 la, 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 la. Oh, look at this shit. Look at that stuff. Poof, poof, poof. Look at this woman. Look at that. It's all easy. Poof, poof, poof. Take it all down. The war starts, and that champion dies, and this champion dies, and this champion dies. But not Achilles. Walking on. No problem. Showing the way. Boom. Done. Problem solved. Don't make a big deal out of it. I want to go back to bed. I want to sleep. I want to sit with these quote-unquote females. Leave me alone, king of Greece. Right? So that's a little bit what the spirit of Illuminati does. Yes. So the commander, the US president, is like the king of Greece. And then the champions, the individual nations that are joining the United States in this destiny, the vassal states, heads, they're like these champions. And the more honor that the champion has, the better the role is in the timeline. So imagine there's a British king, and the British king has a generational line. Once upon a time was created King James Bible, and that went all out of the world, created karmic currency, karmic velocity, honor entered the bloodline. So there's a whole bunch of honor in the bloodline of the British king. Convert that into the currency system of the spirit of Illuminati, and then you have a rank in the timeline. And then we have other heads of states, like France, French, Empire, French Republic, whatever karma that is, converted into some kind of a standard, translated by the spirit of Illuminati, and then the value is evaluated between the head of France and the head of Britain. And then there is a difference in value. So imagine all the heads of states of the West are like the champions in the film Troy, and the Greek king is the president of America. And then the spirit of Illuminati measures whoever has the most honor. And then the champion of the spirit of Illuminati will behave like Achilles. All the other champions, because they're weak. Bad karma here, bad karma there. Old glory, no longer new glory. They're sitting on reputation. Britain, Germany, France, little nations around them. They've got history. I get it. But when Russia comes, when China comes, how well will that do? This nation will fall, that nation will fall, this nation will fall, this nation will fall. Like in the film Achilles with Troy. All these champions will just fall. And when the war starts, some of these champions will stay alive. And then this Greek king gets jealous. Okay? Because the Greek king has the commanding position, but he doesn't command the champions. The spirit of Illuminati commands the champions. The Greek king says, we go to war with Troy. And the spirit of Illuminati looks at the Greek king and say, yeah. Okay, let me find someone that can fight for you. And then comes a champion. All right? And there is a hierarchy system among these champions. And they have certain abilities and talents and whatever they can offer, but they have honor. So the spirit of Illuminati distributes honor in the timeline. There is a timeline when the Greek king will go to war with Troy, but the Greek king does not enter the battlefield. No, the spirit of Illuminati enters the battlefield. The honor particles. So the Greek king is just some kind of a ceremonial head. And that cannot be changed. It's American Empire. So when one of the champions gets honor excessively, that champion will not respect the Greek king. Because he has so much honor, he doesn't need the American president. When a nation becomes so strong that it doesn't need America, it will of course put up a huge fucking attitude. Looking at America like this banana republic with El Narco, Donaldo Trumpo. You know what I'm saying? Well, attitude. And of course, you see these dynamics. So in the BRICS nations, ladies and gentlemen, the equivalent of the Illuminati over there is worse. What we're experiencing here is bad, but what is happening over there is worse. So let me show you the second layer. So there is a head in the timeline. So over there, it's in China, it's Xi Jinping, not Vladimir Putin. Here, it is Donald J. Trump. Those are the heads of the two rivaling civilizations doing this job that I'm explaining to you. And then there's these champions. Probably Vladimir Putin is the champion over there on the other side. And here, I don't know who's the champion. Would it be the British king? Most probably, top 3. But there, whatever it is, it will run out. The generational blessings of the barbarians will run out. People with generational blessings because of their ancestors. Those people, poop, 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 they will fall. Energy running out. And then you have the quote-unquote civilized who are not so blessed. And they're sitting on some kind of a lesser inheritance. But they're not so, they're entitled and stuff. So they're not really doing what needs to be done to increase blessings. Then they will fall. And all of a sudden, Spirit of Illuminati no longer has officials. No longer has champions. And I'm going to stand here. Just wait. Okay? That's how I'm going to become the champion of the timeline. And when I see El Narco, Trumpo, Donaldo, I'm not going to, it's looking bad. It's crappy. It's rotten. This place is collapsing. It's unworthiness. All right? If you have an unworthy empire, it will collapse on itself. Same thing with rivaling empire BRICS. That's even worse. So when the wind of judgment falls upon the east, it's going to be worse. But the wind of judgment will also fall upon the west. It will be bad. So in the film, you see an empire with bad karma. So the head of state is the Greek king, and these champions do not obey him. These champions disrespect him. The Greek king cannot demand the respect of the champions because his soul is in deficit. The Greek king wants to control the champions because the Greek king does not want these champions to have honor and glory. No, the Greek king wants to have all the honor and glory. Feels threatened. Donald J. Trump feels threatened by figures like Zelensky. Unbelievable. These little narcos. That's what you call that. It's Narco, Trumpo, Donaldo. It's a fucking world war coming upon this place. And these little, whatever the fuck is wrong with these people. This is what it's about. Just like Achilles and the Greek king in Troy. That's what it's really about. So when all these people are going to go to war, ladies and gentlemen, the Greek king and the Achilles and all these champions, all their rotten bad karma will enter the battlefield and they will just all die. That's just how this is going to go. This West Empire, this East Empire, are going to go to war. It's all going to die. That's what's going to happen. Both of them are rotten. The karma is terrible. When the bad karma goes to war with bad karma, it's going to be compounding bad karma. It's going to be a disaster. So in the film Troy, you see that Greece goes to war with Troy and they both die. All right?